Alrighty, we are live. So today's topic is basically all about running shoes, and not just running shoes, but shoes in general. And we're going to look at what shoes are the best shoes to run in. And you can see from the title of this, you can actually run perfectly in any pair of shoes. Now, of course, the question is, should you be running in running shoes? But the thing is, overall, doesn't really come down to the shoe. If you can run with perfectly good form, you know how to run, you've been taught how to run, you put some effort into your running, the shoes don't really matter, which is a really cool thing to think about, because unfortunately today, most people who go for a run, the first thing they think about is the shoes they're wearing, which makes a lot of sense, because with performance today, sport today, everything we do today, we look to add more to our body, add more to our performance, and just try and find everything possible to increase our performance, when we've actually got this pretty awesome body that can do a lot of it for us. So it's really not about the shoe. Unfortunately, today you can see in everything we do, all the big companies, Nike, Asics, Adidas, etc., they're going to try and sell you the best shoe possible. And that is an overly cushioned, overly stable shoe, too much technology, just everything to give you that added extra piece of performance, whether it's 1% or 10%, who knows? I honestly believe no shoe will improve your performance in any type of running. It's all gimmicky. It's all marketing, especially these big companies. They're throwing billions and billions of dollars at these marketing campaigns to get you to buy their shoe again and again and again. And the funny thing with most runners today is, like, they pretty much break down after several months and tell you, oh, they're only lasting for 100Ks, 200Ks, because they want you to buy another pair of shoes. How about you buy a shoe that actually lasts longer, so you don't have to keep forking out $300, $400, $500 for a pair of shoes that are just going to break down anyway. But yeah, coming back to you can run perfectly in any pair of shoes. Hey, Ed. So we need to start thinking about what is the best shoe to run in. It comes back more to how you actually run. Now, unfortunately, with modern day running shoes like this good old Asics, pretty old one now, but they pretty much all look like this. How you doing, Ed? These shoes, you can still run perfectly in them, except that they will allow for poor form. They will promote poor form, mainly because of this big cushioned heel that takes away all the feeling, all the proprioception, all the feedback you want from your feet to allow you to run the most efficient way. Now, it's funny, with the hundreds of clients I've had taken through a running technique, running analysis, and like one of the big questions I always ask is, like, do you know where your foot strikes the ground first? A lot of people aren't really aware of it, but the most people who do actually say so and believe they're a midfoot striker, when the vast majority of them are not. They're heel strikers. Basically because they can't feel what they're hitting because of this big ass cushion in the way. Now, you've got 250,000 nerves on the end of each of your feet. These nerves basically tell the rest of the body what to do, how to react, your proprioception, your posture, your muscle tone, your balance, etc. Once you get a stupid cushion in the way, you are blindfolding your feet. You can't perceive the ground. You can't react to the ground. You can't respond and tell the body what to do. So the body starts to guess. And as you would know, with what my opinions are on heel striking, you're just going to keep doing it and doing it again because you can't feel it. It feels comfortable because of all this cushion. I mean, even looking at this Asics, like, yes, there's a lot of cushion there, but then you go to freaking Hockers, the most monstrosity of shoes ever. You got this much cushion in the way, but people love them because they bounce along. All the cushion in the world is so damn comfortable, and they think it's the best running shoe possible. Now, yes, they can help, of course. Hey, Kai, good to see you again today. They're going to feel good because you're not feeling the impacts, you're not feeling the hard ground. But the cool thing is your body has the inbuilt capabilities to absorb this 2.5 times your body weight we do every single step we take. So unfortunately, shoe companies know bugger all about feet and bodies. They just want to keep adding these cushions, adding in these springs, these carbon plates to help bounce you along when you can actually do it all yourself. Now, we all have the capabilities. We're all born with these gifts, but unfortunately, the way we've lived most of our lives, we've actually lost it all. It's just hidden. I wouldn't say lost. It's just hidden away. And we can all bring that back with just a little bit of work, a little bit of awareness, to get your feet back to the mobility they can do, the strength, and all that good jazz to just get you running nice and efficiently, nice and strongly. But unfortunately, is these shoes that are destroying your feet, destroying your body, your knees, your hips, all that. Poor due to poor connection. Let's put that back on there. And we're back on Insta. Apologies if I'm going across three things. I've got TikTok, my live network, the Natural Born Running Network, and Instagram. And Instagram is slowing down. So apologies for that if I'm not looking at the right one. But yeah. Another funny thing to think about is when we do think about shoes, we tend to think more about our gym shoe or our running shoe. Now, for the majority of people, you're only going to wear these shoes on average an hour a day, an hour in the gym or you run. What is your most common pair of shoes? What is the shoe that you're wearing for the remainder of your day, for the majority of your day? Because that is what your feet, that is what your ankle, your body is going to adapt to. So if you've got, we're back. If you've got big cushion heels, or just big cushion heels, small toe box, stiff, big, rigid shoes, your feet are not going to be able to do what they're designed to do. They're going to be stuck in these coffin-like shoes all day long, and you're basically going to lose the function of your toes, of your feet, and everything else above it. So it really isn't about your running shoes. It isn't about your gym shoes. It's about your everyday work shoe, your everyday casual shoe, the one that you love the most just to wear the most. Because again, the body is going to adapt and build strength in that most common position. And unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, that is not the most efficient position. Ooh, we're going to like it. So that is the most important thing to do with your shoes, is to address your most common pair of shoes. Because if you're walking around in these all day long, you're going to cause dramas. Because the biggest thing to start off with, when you put your foot in these, oh, that bloody phone keeps falling. I need a better stand. Oh. Let's see if that stays. Yeah, if you're walking around in these all day long, the moment you put your foot in here, because of this heel raise, your body straight away is on a ramp. So your body wants to be upright it's just the way we are. We want to be upright, but if your body obviously cannot walk around in a forward lean. So what have we got to do to compensate for this heel is slight bend the knees, rotate the hips forward. That's going to make it harder for you to use your glutes. It's going to put a lot more pressure on your lower back, those erectors. And head starts to poke forward, shoulders start coming forward, rounding the spine, all just from this tiny little cushion heel. And now the funny thing is, there is not one benefit to any heel in any shoe, unless you want to look taller. Okay, and now obviously high heels for girls, nights out, awesome, they look amazing. As long as you're not wearing them all day long, you're okay. Every now and again is fine. But if they are an everyday shoe where you have got a constant cushion, you wonder why your calves are always tight, because you're shortening the calf and the Achilles. You're rotating those hips forward, so it's making it harder to use your glutes. You wonder why you got lower back pain. And you can see a lot of it can be improved, just getting rid of, is just getting rid of this cushion. Sorry, the heel. So the next time you're looking for a pair of shoes, get rid of the heels, get rid of that cushion. You got a nice, strong, hard heel bone there to allow for this. So we want that flat shoe. And then like the next thing you look at, if I was to put this shoe flat on the ground, look here. This silly little thing is called a toe spring. And now this is an added technology to a piece of shoe to allow you to walk. Because when you think about it, when you put your foot down flat, do your toes stick up like this? Of course not. Well, they don't, unless you're pretty weird. And the thing is, me trying to move this like this, it only really bends at this joint here. But the thing is, if this was flat and I'm trying to walk along, my toes are not strong enough, my feet are not strong enough to be able to extend and to flex through here. So we've got to add this toe spring in to allow us to go through. But again, you've now got this heel raise, you've now got this toe spring. Think about it. If you put your palm flat and you raise up your fingers, you'll feel your palm engage. Now, add in a heel raise, tightens up your palm even more. And think about it, that is your plantar fascia on the bottom of your feet. The moment you put your foot in something like that, you are winding up that plantar fascia and it never, ever gets to relax. The plantar fascia is just another awesome piece of connective tissue on the bottom of the feet. Some beautiful muscles there to help you get function. It should only really contract as you're pushing off from the ground, nice and relaxed in the air, and then contract again as you hit the ground again to create rigidity and strength and stability in your foot as you walk along. It needs to relax. And so you kind of start to think, why is there an epidemic in itself of plantar fasciitis? The stats tell us 1 in 10 people suffer from plantar fasciitis. It's ridiculous. People go in and get these injections. They go and get, even extreme cases, go get surgery, get it chopped away. It's like, well, we've got that plantar fascia for a reason. It's there for a very important reason. And people are going to get chopped off. And you scour through all the Facebook groups, the plantar fasciitis help groups, and all they're looking for is what is the best shoe for plantar fasciitis. Well, really, the best shoe is no shoe, to get your feet working barefoot the way it was designed. But again, we come back to good old Hoka's, the most stupidest shoe company in the world, and they help, unfortunately, with the plantar fasciitis pain because they're so damn cushioned and comfortable. Now, I've never suffered with bad plantar fasciitis, but I know it can be very debilitating, very painful, and you just want some relief. I get that. So if a shoe can get you out relief in the very short term, cool, do what you need to do. But you still need to do the work with it. The shoe is not going to fix the problem. It's going to band-aid the problem. So it's going to band-aid the injury. Just like with anti-inflammatories, just like with drugs, painkillers, etc. You're not fixing the problem. So these, we'll keep going along with Hoka's, if they are going to take away the pain initially, but you've got to think about what else are they causing further up the chain. Because the Hoka looks more like this with a massive cushion underneath. Your feet aren't doing anything. It's just relaxing the feet. It's doing the work for the feet. So then your body is just gonna react even worse from these big cushion shoes. So yes, you can get into these shoes to take away the pain, but that's where the real work starts. You've got to mobilize the feet. You've got to get the toes moving. You've got to get the blood flowing. You've got to get the nerve supply, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do what you need to do to walk around, but get barefoot, get strengthening, get mobilizing, get those feet nice and strong. Otherwise, you're just going to be there and not disappear for years and years and years. Ooh, another like. Awesome. So my biggest recommendation for running shoes, the only shoe I'll ever run in, probably for the rest of my life, the only shoe I'll ever recommend is a brand called Ultras. So good old ultra shoe, ultra racer, ultra Escalante racer. So big reason why I go with these is, it's funny, I used to think that we should all be able to run in our barefoot shoes, our Vivo barefoots. Used to think that for a while, until I understood, told by a running coach, Shane Benzie, big up Shane, great running coach, awesome book. He told me that the running we do today is pretty much a made up sport. So your 5Ks, your 10Ks, your half marathon, your marathon, etc., they are all made up sports. The human body did not evolve to run these distances nonstop. Yes, we can do it, but look at the amount of people who come over the finish line of the marathon, absolutely broken. A lot of people don't even make it. All depends on how hard they've trained, how well they've fueled themselves, nutrition, etc. The body just was never designed to hit these distances nonstop. We go back to hunter-gatherer days, the way we evolved to chase down our prey, chase away from predators, etc., to help us survive. We would run, walk for a bit, jog for a bit, sprint, walk, sprint again, jog, walk. We would basically run our prey to death because we had the endurance. We were able to sweat in the heat. That's what kept us going. Most animals that we were chasing couldn't sweat, so we kept chasing until they just gave up because they were exhausted. So we are endurance athletes, endurance species. So going back to thinking that we should be able to run in these, yes, people can. People have some awesome feats, no pun intended, barefoot marathons, barefoot ultras. Of course, you can do it if you really put the work into it. And if you've been barefoot most of your life, yes, you can do it. But we do need that little bit of extra cushion. And that's where the ultra comes in nicely, is because it's just got that little bit of cushion, just a centimeter or so. But you'll also notice as well, it's nice and flat. There's no toe spring. It's flexible as, whoop, and it's a nice wide toe box. And look at the difference in those two toe boxes. Huge difference. So the Ultra is the one shoe I would only ever recommend for any type of running. So what you want to look for is nice and flat, nice and thin, still pretty thin, a nice wide toe box, and flexible. Allow that foot to do what it's designed to do. So what do you think about grounding shoes? What do you mean by grounding shoes, mate? Like, you just minimalist shoes, barefoot shoes? I've not heard of actual grounding shoes before. I'm sure it's something similar. You can see a barefoot shoe. But the thing is, coming back to what I was saying before, like, it's not all about the running shoe. It's more about your everyday casual shoe. That's where the minimalist shoes, the barefoot shoes, potentially the grounding shoes come in. If you're wearing these majority of your day, you're winning. That is what your foot is going to adapt to. That's going to get your strength back. And I think, what was it, a study done a couple of years ago by Vivo? I know it was by Vivo, but 6 months in a barefoot shoe will increase your foot strength by 60%. So it's pretty damn awesome. You know, it's just being barefoot, allowing your foot to do what it's designed to do. So just waiting to see what you mean by grounding shoes, and we can answer that question. But as always think, yes, barefoot with some kind of grounding copper in them to help you over. Oh, I actually never heard of them. Didn't realize you could there was shoes that had copper in. But I mean, grounding's great. Like, it's always good to be out barefoot on the grass, on the soil and all that. Big fan of grounding. Don't do a lot of it myself. But yeah, I wear nothing but barefoot shoes. Like, you can't see the shoe rack, but I got 20 plus pairs of barefoot shoes. It's in bed sheets as well. Okay, interesting. So yeah, that's a new thing for me. I wouldn't know. Oh, thanks, Corinne. Material that helps them ground to the earth. Okay, yeah, sounds good. I mean, it certainly helps. It's better than any kind of cushion in the way. So definitely helps. And again, with the bed sheets, I mean, going back to the good old human body, we were never designed to sleep on mattresses. So getting as close to the ground as we possibly can. That would be awesome. So yeah, heard copper is a good thing as well. Don't they get those copper bracelets or something to help with that? So yeah, anything like that to help you ground you and get the feet working more. Those 250,000 nerves on the bottom of each foot. That's really just going to build connection, get the body working with the brain, and just improve the overall adaptation to a barefoot style. So yeah, go for grounding shoes. I'll have a look into it, see if I can find some myself. But yeah, coming back to like the overall arching thing, you can run perfectly in any pair of shoes. But the thing is, something like this is going to promote poorer form. It's going to allow for poorer form, especially the good old heel strike. Like I said before, we're not aware of it because of the stupid cushion. But thinking more of your everyday shoe over your running shoe, and again, comes back to relearning how to run, not just running for the sake of it, because that's what we see as what we do, but we really need to just rethink how we were taught to run. Unfortunately, is just run for the sake of it. I work on feet and always looking for things to help my clients. Yeah, perfect, man. Anything to help the clients, that'd be awesome. Hey, what up, Dave? Lost my train of thought there. But yeah, relearning to run is it's so damn important. If you do run, if you're any kind of sport, you think about if you have played any kind of ball sport, footy, cricket, rugby, tennis, hockey, everything. Were you ever taught to run? 9 times out of 10, I would say no. Unless you did athletics, I know that's not a ball sport. That's really the only sport you're going to be learning how to run. So bringing it back to your ball sports, probably one of the biggest skills you actually do in your sport. I mean, look at AFL, for example, you're running on average 13 to 15 kilometers per game. And if you don't have the necessary skills, the primitive skills of knowing how to run, you're putting yourself at such a higher risk of injury. And you still see it today with pulled hamstrings and torn ACLs and all that. And I honestly believe, through my experiences, a lot of these injuries can disappear if we actually learn how to run. But no one is putting effort into it. No one is putting focus into it from an early age. Running is just seen as something that we are able to do. And yes, that should be true. Unfortunately, majority of people can't do it because of a sedentary lifestyle, because of shitty shoes, because we are unfortunately a very lazy, immobile, stiff generation. Running today now is the most at-risk sport of being injured. 80% of runners get injured every year. Stupid stat. Imagine if that was put in front of footy, in rugby, soccer. No parents would ever let their kids play that sport. So we need to change the narrative around running and actually relearn how to do it so you can excel in your sport, so you can perform, so you don't have to worry about getting injured all the time. You can run faster, you can run further, run longer. It all just comes back to relearning how to run. So that's where in the network, the running blueprint comes in handy. 10 standards to hit to make sure you are at the lowest risk possible of getting injured. And it really gives you a score to see where you're at and see what you need to work on. So Instagram and TikTok, both in the link on the bio. Have a look in there. Join the free running blueprint. Like I said, it is free, easy to do. So jump on that. Hit us up with questions. Comment below. Give us a DM. Anything to help you around finding the best pair of shoes, learning how to run, and just increasing your optimal performance. All right. That's me out. Cheers, guys. Whoop. Let me stop this and go 24 minutes.